Hello students, this is HD Pawar, Lecturer Department of Economics, Gokte, PU College of Commerce and Science. Today we shall continue with the second part of national income topic in macroeconomics. In the previous class, we have discussed what is the meaning of national income, what is stock and flow concept, what are consumer goods, what are intermediate goods, what are producer goods, what are final goods. We have seen that, and what are capital goods or investment goods or producer goods. Then today we shall see the difference between nominal GDP and real GDP. Firstly, what is the meaning of GDP? You already know it, gross domestic product. Gross domestic product is what? The goods and services produced by the people of the country within the borders of the country, within the country only. That is why we use the word domestic. Domestic means it is produced within the country only. Gross is what? Total. Total goods and services produced by the people of the country within the country only. Now let us understand what is the concept of nominal GDP and real GDP, and the difference between nominal GDP and real GDP. First point, in nominal GDP, it is the value of GDP. See, whatever goods and services are produced, they are to be priced, or they are to be valued, and when you value those goods at current year prices, whatever prevailing prices, current year prices or market price. Okay, market price means आज का भाव, today's price, current prevailing or market price, then we call it as nominal GDP. Real GDP. Real GDP is the value of the gross domestic product at some constant prices, taking some previous year as the base year. Now see, a farmer produces say 1 kg of rice, and today's market price or current price or prevailing price is 90 rupees per kg. Just assume, okay, just think. So the value of that 1 kg rice in today's value, at today's price is how much? 90 rupees. But if the same 1 kg rice is measured at some other prices in some previous year, say it was 80 rupees last year, so what will be the value of that rice? 80 rupees. Okay, so but what is the difference here? Only the value or the price is changing, because there is ups and downs in the prices. There is due to inflation or rising prices or mehengai, the value of that product is increasing, but the amount of that product, 1 kg rice, is the same. There is no increase in the amount or quantity of that product. The quantity of the product is same, but just when you measure it at current prices, the value of that will show higher prices, and if you measure at some price taking some previous year as some base year, then it shows less value. And always GDP is measured at real prices also. Okay, then nominal GDP, the current, second point, current prices vary or change. Now see, in this particular year only, you take the price of petrol. Sometimes it is 70 rupees, sometimes it is 72 rupees, sometimes it may become 68 rupees, again it may become 75 rupees. So the current year prices are changing, and that is why to know the exact value, which price we should consider then. So that is why base year prices, where the prices are reasonably constant in that particular year, those prices are taken as base year prices, and that is called as a real GDP. Second point, in real GDP, base year price is fixed. Okay, those prices never change. Then third one, in nominal GDP, due to change in price, the GDP may show higher value if price increases and shows low values if the price decreases without any actual change in quantity of production. So see, 10 kgs of rice is produced. Today the price may be 90, tomorrow the price may be 95. So the value of GDP, if the price is 90, it shows less. If the value is price is 100 or 95, it will show high. So but there is no actual change in the quantity of production. Production of rice is 100 kgs only. Okay. Then in real GDP, if real GDP changes, we can be sure that it is the volume or it is the quantity of production which is undergoing the changes and not the price. Okay. Then fourth point, in normal GDP, GDP stands for nominal GDP. See, the GDP, it is written in capital. When you have to relate to nominal GDP, you write the GDP in capital letters. It stands for nominal GDP, whereas GDP in small letters stands for real GDP. Then next one, GDP includes the aggregate value. Aggregate means what? The total value of only final goods and services produced by its people in a year. Final goods are which do not pass through any more stages of production. Now see this, they may ask you write a note on final goods. So you will write this particular paragraph. GDP, that is the total goods and services produced by the people of the country. It includes only the final goods. That is a raw materials or intermediate values are not included in that separately. It takes only the final values. And final goods are which do not pass through any more stages of production, means they are not raw materials or intermediate goods, they are final goods for final purpose only, final consumption purpose only. So they do not pass through any more stages of production. Example, clothes, TV, computers, etc. that is purchased by the consumers. Meant for final use only, because once it is sold, it passes out of active economic flow. The value of final goods in the GDP already includes the value of intermediate goods in the form of inputs used. So the final value of the goods, say TV is costing what? Say 40,000. In that already the value of tools that are used in it or spare parts are used in it, the value is already included in that final product TV. GDP already includes the value of intermediate goods in the form of inputs used. Therefore, intermediate values are deducted from the final output as it leads to double counting. Otherwise, it will lead to double counting and national income will show higher values. A good is final or not depends not on the nature of the good, but depends on the use for which it is put. Now say for example, tea powder used by housewife for home is not an economic activity. See why it is not an economic activity. See, your mother purchases tea powder from the shop and she comes. That is a final good, because she comes home, she prepares tea and she gives it to you without any cost. So that is a final good. There is no other money transaction taking place in that. Thus it is a final good, but the same is purchased by a hotelier To sell tea, it becomes intermediate good as economic value addition takes place further when he sells the tea, because he is, if a hotelier or a chai wala purchases tea powder and prepares tea and again sells it for a price, then again it is included in the economic activity, economic value, money value addition takes place again further when he sells that tea. So the product will not determine whether it is a final good or not, but the use of it, where it is used, will determine whether it is a final good or an intermediate good. Next one, we will just do this. Explain the circular flow of income in simple economy. Now, how economy functions or how it works, this can be explained with simple two-sector economy model with assumptions. Now, there are macroeconomic sectors. They are what? Household, firms, then government and external sector. There are 4 sectors in the economy, main sectors in macroeconomics. We have done it in first topic, but here for explanation purpose we are going to take a simple 2-sector economy where there are only firms and there is a household is there and firms is there. We are going to take these assumptions and we are going to explain this circular flow of income with the help of a diagram. Assumptions are there are only 2 sectors, that is the firms and household, with no government interference, no savings by the household. These are, you have to all assume these things. Okay, the household, whatever income they earn, they are entirely spending that income for purchase of goods and services and they are not doing any savings. Then no stock is held by the firms, that is whatever the firms are producing the goods, the entire stock of it they are selling, they are not keeping any stock with them. And no external trade, there is no foreign trade involved. That means the aggregate or total consumption by household of economy is equal to total expenditure on goods and services produced by the firm in the economy. There is no leakage from the system, that is whatever household is earning, they are spending entirely on goods and services. Whatever firms are producing, they are selling entire goods and services to the household, even they are not keeping any stock. Second, household receives factor payments or rewards in the form of rent, wages, interest and profit. See, some are this household, how they earn their income or rewards, they are giving their services in the form of land, labor, capital and organization. So they are earning rent, wages, interest and profits as income for their factor services given in the form of land, labor, capital for the firms. Third assumption here, the household disposes the entire income received by the firms on the spending of goods and services produced by the firms. That is, whatever income is earned in the form of rent, wages, interest, they are all spending it on the goods and services produced by the firm. Now, just see here the diagram. Okay, it is a circular diagram. Now the arrows are important here. Now on your left hand side you will have to write firms and on right hand side you will write households. Now see, from the household, the household are doing the spending on goods and services. So the income flows from household to the firms. That is their income, whatever income they have earned in the form of spending on goods and services, it is flowing to the firms. Okay, then in return, what the firms are doing, see in the second second arrow, second sorry, circular second circular, you see the firm is doing production of goods and services, and you see the firms are producing the goods and services for whom? Household. You see the arrow flowing towards the household. Then in the lower semicircle, you see inner circle, you see firm is the household is what they are providing factor services. The lowest circle, you see household is providing the factor services like land, labor, capital and organization, and the firm is what? Providing them what? Factor payments, that is in the form of rent, wages and interest and profits. So here you see the upper two arrows show goods and service market. You see, because first one A, it denotes what? Spending on goods and services by the household, and second arrow it shows production of goods and services B by the firms. So here the goods and services are produced and the income is spent on goods and services. Then the lower two arrows show factors of production market. Factors of production market means here you see the lower two arrows here. First lower arrow is what? The firm is doing factor payments to the household by in the form of rent, wage, interest and profits, and the last arrow shows the households are providing factor services in the form of what? Land, labor, capital and organization. Now you see spending on goods and services, we have written A, that it shows what? The expenditure of the people of the country. Then production of goods and services B, it shows product method and how much production takes place in the country. And C, it shows factor payments, that is in the form of rent, wages, interest and profits. That shows income method, how income is earned by the people of the country. Income is earned as rent, wages, interest and profits. Together it shows income method. Then production of goods and services B by the firms shows product method, and spending on goods and services by the household A shows the expenditure method. So the diagram shows the three methods of estimating national income at a point A, B and C. They are product method, expenditure method and income method. The three stages of calculation remain the same even when government and savings of household, foreign trade is introduced. Just for simple explanation purpose, only two sector is taken. If we introduce the government, then savings of the people, foreign trade, external trade is introduced. The process of calculation of the national income figures remain the same. So these are the three methods of calculating national income. National income is calculated in three ways at different levels of economy, at different stages of economy, that is income method, expenditure method and product method. For today this much is sufficient. Thank you.